wanted to know how to properly open a bottle of wine, but you were afraid to ask? Well, I'm John Alanis. I'm a certified sommelier, and in this video, I am going to show you not only how to properly open a bottle of wine, I'm going to show you how to do so with style and ease. We're going to have a lot of fun here. So when it comes to opening a bottle of wine, there is a very specific process to use, but you have to have the right tools. And so what this is here, this is my wine key. It's called a waiter's corkscrew as well. But it's very important that you start out by getting the right one. You don't want one of those wingtip ones. You don't want one that you jam in. There's some very important elements of this one right here that I'm going to show you. This only costs about 10, 14 bucks, by the way, so don't be fooled by the wood paneling. So the first thing that I want to show you is if we look here, the blade right here is curved. And it's curved because it's going to fit around the cap of the bottle when we cut it. Some of these are made with a straight blade. You don't want that. Very important. The other thing is if we look, we see that this has a pointy tip. And I could cut myself with that. This is good because there's some cuts that you're going to make with this that you need a pointy tip for. Some of the other ones they have around it, I really don't understand the reason for that. So the first thing that you need to do is get yourself a wine key like this, and I'll put a link in the description below. So we have our wine key opened up, and it's called a wine key because the wine right now is currently locked. And so what we want to do, once we have our wine key here, is we're going to make two cuts. We're going to make a cut around the lip here. We're not going to cut right at the top here. We want to cut here, and we're going to tip the cap. So what we're going to do is I'm first going to cut around here, and you can see this is where the tip begins to come in. So I'll make another cut around here, and then I'm going to show you two ways to do this. There's two ways. One, you can make a cut from here down here and just flip it off. I don't like to do that because that's a good way to cut yourself. What I prefer to do is I'm going to cut literally almost like up here and flip it off. Now I'm going to do it from the back so you'll see it flip off. So I'm just going to cut like I showed you, and we tip the cap. It comes right off. It's trash. So we're going to put it aside. Now I'm going to close my wine key and I'm going to open it up to the corkscrew. This may also be known in some circles as the worm. I worked in the oil field. That's what they would have called it. But what we're going to do is we're going to put this right in the top of our cork. We're going to center it and we're going to cant it a little bit. And then we're going to gently push in, and we are going to turn it to a certain important point. Very easy to do. Just turn and turn and turn. And you want to get it to where you have one swirl left. Look at that right there. You can see that there's one swirl left. And the reason that I want to do that is I'm going to hit my first lever point, and I'm going to gently pull this up. So it's right into my first lever point. Now, why do I want it to go in this far? This is not an old bottle of wine. But if you're opening older bottles of wine, older vintages, 25, 30 years old, you can be a little concerned about cork integrity. And the last thing you want to do is go too shallow and have that darn thing break off or crumble. Now, if this was an extremely old bottle of wine, I would use a tool called the Duran cork puller or the also, but that's for a different video. This is just for a bottle of wine up to 20 years old or so. You think the cork's pretty good, but you never know. This is the reason why you want to go all the way in, so it's gone as far down in the cork as you want, because sometimes if you go too shallow, you'll pull out half a cork and you don't want to have to dig the rest out. So we're down to our first lever point, and so what I'm going to do here is I am just going to very slowly and gently and firmly begin to pull the cork up so I can get down to the second lever position. Now this is a second lever position, and the thing that you don't want to do, even though you're getting close, don't pull it up and go pop and pop a cork. Oh, I can't stand that term. You don't want to pop a cork. That sounds like firecrackers in a restaurant. And hey, I was in the fireworks business for a while. I don't mind a good fireworks show, but I don't want it when I'm opening a bottle of wine. So what I want to do is when I get this out, I just want a tiny hiss, if anything. So I'm going to, from my second lever point, pull this up till I feel that it's almost out. And then I want to finish opening this with style and ease, like from Van Halen's Dance the Night Away. Can you see her so fine and pretty that she moved me with the style and ease? That's what we want here. So I'm going to close my hand on this, and I'm just going to lift it off like that. No pop, just a tiny hiss, and our bottle of wine is open. Now, what we would want to do is we would want to take the cork off, have a quick look at it. This is a fine cork. As you can see, got a little bit of wine in it. It's intact, no problem. Very successful opening. I would put it here. I would close this up. I'd take my serviette, I would wipe it off, and then I would pour this in a glass. Since I don't have a glass and it's a cheap bottle of wine, I'm going to pour it down the sink. So, that's how you open a bottle of wine properly using the proper tool, your waiter's corkscrew.